Well, happy Thanksgiving, good people. I was contemplating whether or not I was going to do a Thursday Thoughts Thanksgiving edition kind of episode, but here we are. So as you guys can tell, I am definitely not home. I am out of town in Santa Rosa Beach for Thanksgiving break. It's been a great week to just relax, get away from school, and just spend time with family. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the Thanksgiving break edition of Weekend Recap, which is coming up next week. It is going to kind of just unfold what has happened this entire week. Anyways, getting straight into, what I have for you guys today for Thanksgiving as we take a look back at this past year from last November to this November. A lot has changed, obviously, but I am proud of how far I've come as an individual. Of course, last year I never would have imagined to be in the place that I'm at now a year later, and thinking about all that I've endured this year, my gratitude is seriously like beyond the sky, because let's admit 2023 was weird, and I use the term was because this year is almost over in 39 days. 2023 has been such a question mark kind of year. I promise y'all, it's probably going to take about another year or two to kind of recover from this year. I was still in 2021 recovering from 2019. Nothing could have prepared my heart and mind for the plot twist this year, but however, I have somehow, with God's grace and help, of course, managed to get through this year up until this point, because had it been my way, y'all don't even want to know. I am grateful for my relationship with God. I always have been, I always will be, but this year definitely has been a year where God has just continued to do what he's always done, even in the thick of it. God has never failed me. A lot of people lose their faith in a season of loss. But for me, I just couldn't let my heart do that. You do more damage on yourself running from God in a time of loss when he is the one you should be running to as a source of comfort and peace. And beyond losses, he came through in my physical struggles as well, which we'll talk about more in the end. Even in a season where so much just went wrong and is still going wrong, God has never given me a reason to not believe in him or trust in him, because he always comes through. And one of my favorite songs to kind of sum all of that up is Never Let Me Down by James Fortune. There is seriously no one else that truly understands my heart like God, and his love for me is the reason why I can go on. And my faith is something that I am extremely thankful for. I am grateful for my siblings / friends. I don't have siblings biologically, of course, you guys know this. So for me, a few people within my friend group have become like that sibling tribe for me I never got to have. So it's just been amazing. I love my trio. That is my main people for life. It's literally God, parents, siblings, in that order. And then I have, people outside of that, like friends, but it's mostly me and my two best friends, which I claim my siblings. And when it comes down to siblings, they are top priority, period, because we just got it like that. We go hard for each other no matter what, no matter what it is. If one of us are down, we're all down together. We do everything together. We're so locked in. We don't even talk about our bond a whole lot. It's something that cannot be described in words. It's an experience. And there's been people who try to find their way in our trio to get what we have, but we never let anybody come between us three. Putting friends and siblings together in the same boat, the way we vibe together is stellar. I love it here. We've drawn closer together in many different ways over this past year, especially after I decluttered and detached myself and my life from, certain people. And then of course losing PopPop was a whole different story. And those two tests and trials showed me so clearly what I needed to know about who God was and not just about who he was, but who he was allowing to stay with me and who he was not allowing to stay with me. And one of the quotes that I will stand by until the day Jesus returns is, "Hard times reveal true friends," and it did, and it still does. I am thankful for the people that God has given to me and has also taken away, because my seasons of life have been very hectic for a while, and God always has his way of giving me who and what I need, even through the sudden shifts. Like, I find that to be amazing. Now, I must admit I was emotionally fragile from the time PopPop got sick again last year coming into this year. I was already done with 2023 when we got to New Year's Day, honestly. And my siblings and friends have been like my motivation. They keep me going even though I'm in a process of mental and emotional reconstruction after tragedy. And they tell me all the time, like, "I don't know how you handle us." And I'm like, I don't know how y'all handle me, because, you know, my friends, they try to make that insecurity disappear. Now, of course, I'm grateful for my family, y'all, both unbiological and biological. I've always loved my family and have known the importance of family, but as y'all know, I talk about it all the time, that my PopPop's heart attack scare really just snatched me with that lesson real quick. And after PopPop's passing, like, of course, life felt weird, and it still feels weird, and the void is just, it's still so gigantic that I was just completely undone. When talking about family, let's start with godparents. I do want to take a moment to highlight them because I don't talk about them a lot, because it's been sort of hush-hush for a while now. Many people have their godparents already chosen from the beginning of their life until, you know, forever. But for me, I grew up with aunties and uncles and then waited almost a decade and a half to choose my godparents. Now that I've been here for, 17 years, I've filtered out, good and bad. And I can honestly say that I have a solid group of godparents. I love it that way, because when you're born, you grow up and people come and go. And I know people who have different godparents now than they did before, because stuff and life happened, and it's kind of like testing who does and who doesn't work. Y'all, I love having godparents. Like, it's just seriously the most fun thing ever. Like, the next best title after daughter and sister is goddaughter. Like, it's never boring. It's like my other anchor of protection, and I enjoy having like that parental figure outside of my actual parents. It's nice having an outside look on life with guidance in the fact that they're not always with me, but they still know me well enough to where I can get different perspectives, and it's not always from my parents' voice. I am so grateful for them, and they have contributed greatly into my life, especially this past year. Our bond has been so much closer, and they have walked with our family through almost everything that we've endured, and having that support stacked really helps me to not go crazy. Of course, I'm thankful for my parents. Enough said. Y'all have been here all year to see that this year for us three has honestly been a whirlwind. And lastly, while we are on the subject of family, another thing that I'm grateful for is the fact that I got the chance to tell my PopPop everything that I wanted to say to him before he passed away. When he left, there was nothing else in my heart or mind that I needed to say that was of pressing concern. And a lot of people leave things left unsaid when there really needs to be a conversation, especially when it comes to a person that is near death and they are near death. And when he left, I knew we were covered because he told us we didn't have to worry about anything. He did right by us, and we sent him home right and did right by him. And I got the chance to really take the time to honor him in his last year of life. And something that I wanted before he passed away was a Starbucks date, and we were able to make that happen. And he had been asking for it, and I was able to do that for us. And once holiday season was over, I think that was my peace for I'm okay now, I'm good. And when you know that a person needs you more than you need them, that's when it's time to let them go. But I am so glad we have a wonderful collection of memories to look back and reflect on until we see him again. I am grateful for life, seriously, and it's an easy thing for anybody and everybody to say, especially on a day like today. But Earlier this month, I had an ER scare. If you missed the whole thing, it's in the first weekend of November edition of Weekend Recap. That's probably the first time I kind of was open about one of my physical struggles. It was like literally the most weirdest season of life. I had never felt anything like that before. And looking back on it, it taught me a lot. And I'm just now getting back to feeling like myself again, and I'll share more about it hopefully, next month. But it was a war to fight in a lot of areas for a few days, but I've been doing better and God is good, and it definitely took a while to feel back to normal, but it's been a process. I think after taking care of so many other people, it was a point in time where I just kind of had to shut down for a reason so that I could fully have time to sit in my thoughts for real and recover. And like I said, that's definitely a conversation that we're gonna have later. Of course, there's no proper outro about gratitude without sharing how thankful I am for all of you. Of course, we took a turn this year. I was in and out for a little bit, came back, left, then came back. And I've been sick off and on too. I've been in and out. Y'all have not left my side through all of the major changes, and I'm so grateful. My goal has always been to inspire others who live life similar to me, whether if you connect with me because you're a church kid, pastor's kid, musician, singer, music lover, high school student, Christian teen, scoliosis surgery survivor, or just trying to navigate life after loss. My main goal has always been to build a community of people the same age group and, with the same experiences in life, and just simply share our ups and downs that make us feel like we're not alone in the process. I'm glad that y'all are here for the journey. Thank you for that. I hope you take some time to let all of the special people in your life know how much you love them and how thankful you are for them. I love you all so much. Happy Thanksgiving.